And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to another episode of this Freakin' Show, the weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. I'm your host, Travesty, and alongside me is
Awkward Colin.
And Geekcast Joe.
So, am I the only one that had a shitty day today?
Possibly.
Yes, I would say.
Perfect. Well, let me explain my shitty day because I don't have a lot of them. I mean, I always try to live, positive, optimistic, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been at least 3 shitty things that happened to me, and honestly, they all happened in the last 4 hours.
Man.
I know, right? So, first thing that kind of ruined my day is I was playing my baseball game, MLB The Show. I don't play a lot of video games, but when I do, it's mostly baseball because I'm a huge baseball fan. This time of the year, baseball season. Another thing that pissed me off, I'll get to that in a minute. So, in my game, I play as a starting pitcher. That's who my character is. And through the process of doing the Road to the Show, which basically you're doing a season, a career mode kind of thing, my guy has won MVPs, has won Cy Youngs. He led the league, strikeouts, wins, everything. My guy is awesome, but the only thing he's never done is pitch a no-hitter. So, I'm playing my fucking game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I am, I think, halfway through the 5th inning. I have a no-hitter. It's actually a perfect game. I didn't walk anybody. There was no errors. They're striking out left and right. I mean, they were my bitch. It was awesome. So, after the first out of the 5th inning, I throw a ball in, fucking strike. I throw a ball in, fucking strike. I throw another ball in, fucking guy fouls it off, and all of a sudden this thing comes on my screen that says, uh-oh, looks like Travis hurt himself. He needs to come out of the game.
Oh, no.
So what my game decided to do is instead of allowing me to put forth the effort to get my no-hitter or perfect game that it could have been, they decided that my character tore his ligament in his finger and was out the rest of the fucking season. Now, not only does that piss me off because I really, really want that no-hitter, it screwed my Cy Young award up. It screwed my MVP award up. It was not, I mean, Colin was here. It wasn't pleasant.
Man, you should have heard him going off.
I believe it.
I really get really intense in my games. If I'm playing my game, if I'm running the bases, I'll turn my body a little to kind of go with the turn of the run. If I swing, I'm really pressing that fucking button, man. I mean, I get into it, but not as much as I did today, knowing that I lost that. But
Dang.
I let it go eventually because I mean, hey, truth be told, it is a game. I'm sure I'll have another chance at a no-hitter. But then I turn on the Sox game because I said I'm going to watch the game rather than play my video game.
That's fair.
So the starting pitcher gave up 5 runs and was replaced in the first inning.
Damn.
Yeah, he pitched almost 40 pitches in the first inning, got 1 out, scored 5 runs. So now the Sox are losing, so that bothered me.
Right.
But I let that go too. I mean, hey, everyone has a bad day. Then I go on Facebook. And the one fucking band that I love more than anything decides that their lead singer needs to retire because he has a hearing problem. So I found out that 2 days ago, Brian Johnson of AC/DC retired. And fucking Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses took his spot for the rest of their tour.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I lost my no-hitter. I lost my enjoyment of the Sox game. And I lost Brian Johnson. All in 4 hours.
That really sucks.
It does suck. It really does suck.
Can I tell you something that might cheer you up?
I hope so. Yeah, absolutely.
This is our 25th episode.
Nice.
Is it really?
Yep. We are 1/4 of the way to 100 episodes.
Nice.
And I only emphasized the 4th because it was 4 hours of hell for you.
I like that. That's awesome. Now, is it technically this should have been our 26th? or is it officially our 25th if you count the show that never happened?
I'm counting the show that never happened. So I guess if you count the one that we recorded this weekend for the what is it? I know I'm going to say this wrong, so I'm just going to say it anyway. For the Wolfgang Puck podcast or whatever.
Wolf King Studios.
What were they?
Wolf King Studios.
Oh, Wolfgang Studios.
No, King.
Whoa, Wolf King. Oh. Well, that makes that. I was trying to figure out why they weren't trying to sell us an oven, but
Yeah.
anyway, if you count them, then I guess it's 26 or 25, depending on whether or not you count our lost conspiracy episode.
I'm gonna count it as 25. I'm happy with 25, and I had a really good time doing that marathon.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a blast doing that. And, who were the people we were talking to? Sean and Carrie.
Sean and Carrie. Yep.
Sean and Carrie. And I loved how like they just dove right into our conversation with us.
They did.
They were really easy to talk to, which was awesome.
Yeah, for it being 3 in the fucking morning.
For being 3 in the fucking morning.
I think it was 4 wherever Sean was at.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was 4 for him. Is Carrie in Illinois? Is that what she said?
It sounded like that's what she was saying,
She's
but I didn't
Illinois.
quite get it out of her.
Well, because
I don't think you asked.
Because I know when you mentioned Chicago, she says something about being a fellow Illinoisan. But was she saying that as in she lives here and she's an Illinoisan too, or she did live here and she moved?
I'm
I'm not sure.
the fact that
talk about moving too.
I think she does live here because she made the statement of being so far away from Sean and not being able to do stuff.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, that was a blast. I mean, that was a really awesome cause that we were a part of. I appreciate them allowing us to be part of it. I learned a lot too. I learned probably the best question to ask on a first date is how clean your pee is.
Yeah, you did.
So I'm very eager to, take that opportunity to do that. And I'm hoping that we can get on this show and do the geek trivia? What'd they call it?
Trivia Geek?
Yeah, Trivia Geek. So hopefully we get on that and we could talk with them more and everything. But other than my misfortunes, how have you guys been? Been pretty good?
I've been good.
Yeah, I've been reading the same book all weekend, so.
Really?
Hooray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that
What is it?
Surprised by Hope by N.T. Wright.
Never heard of it.
I wouldn't expect you to have. He's a theologian / bishop out of England, or the UK generally, I suppose. And I've got to read it for my theology class, so.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. I mean, I'm happy to read it. I just, should have spread it out.
Yeah. Instead of waiting until last minute.
Yep.
Well, that's always fun to do.
Speaking of reading a book, that reminds me of something. Last weekend we asked some of our listeners to send us in questions so we could kind of do like a fan interaction show on the marathon. And actually, unfortunately, instead of doing that, we decided to talk about movies and stuff, which was fine because movies are always fun and enjoyable to talk about. But it left us with a bunch of questions that people want answered. And I feel the right thing to do is answer them.
That's fair.
So I'm going to ask you guys. Do you want to just pick a question every week until we get them all answered? Do you want to answer them all tonight, or what do you want to do?
Let's take week by week.
That's fine with me. Week by week works.
Cool. Well, we'll turn into a little segment here. How about that?
Sounds good.
We call it the freaking question.
Sure.
Perfect. So I'm gonna start with the first one that popped up here. This is to all of us. This one comes from a friend of mine named Noah. He says, "All right, freak guys, I want to know, what's your thoughts and opinions on different secret societies? a diverse group like you guys has to have something to say. Um, well, I'm gonna take I'm gonna answer first on this one, because this actually kind of coincides with one of my conspiracy topics from the show that never happened. So that way, if this show falls through again, I'll take the heat for it. Um, I think secret societies are not as cynical as people make them out to be. I think when you look at like the Masons, the Illuminati, all the other ones I can't really think of at this
Skull
point.
and Bones.
Skull and Bones. Is that the Yale one, Harvard one?
One or the I don't know.
It's
one of those.
It's one of them, yeah. I mean, to me, I think it's just a group that just gets together to kind of like, and I'm a Freemason. I know what we do. I'm gonna tell you right now, I never stuck anything inside an animal. That pertained to the Masons, obviously. But I have family that's Masons. I actually have more family that's going to become Masons soon. And, I mean, just like the Masons and everything else, to me, it's just a get-together it's just a brotherhood. It's nothing everyone needs to fear or worry or judge. And, for those of you who question it, look into it, There's books everywhere about all this stuff, and my opinion about it is I think they're a good thing to have. I think having those close groups, make people feel better knowing that there's always somebody there for them. And that's how I feel, when it comes to the Freemasons is no matter what happens, good or bad, there's always going to be a group of people that are going to be there for me. So, all right, who's next?
Colin.
Yes.
You should go next.
My opinion on secret societies?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some that I do consider secret societies, and then obviously those that are supposedly secret societies. I mean, like, no offense, Travis, but I want to consider the Freemasons like a secret society.
Why?
Because it's not really a secret. I mean, you openly talk about being a member and all that.
Yeah, but what do I tell you about what we do?
You don't tell me anything about what you do.
Do you know why?
Well, yeah, I can pretty much tell you why.
Because it's a secret.
No.
There you go.
But like more like Skull and Crossbones, I do feel are like secret societies.
Why? You can look up the members of that.
But
Bush was a member.
He was. Lots of politicians are.
Yeah, and you can look all of them up. They openly say they are.
But that's my opinion. That not
So
all.
your opinion is the Masons aren't a secret society because you know me and I admit to it.
No, I'm not saying because of that.
But then how's the Skull Bones secret society if you know George Bush is, but the Masons aren't because you know I am?
I'm not trying to say that they're not an organization, Travis.
No, but you're saying they're more secretive because I'm not part of it.
No,
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, how are the Masons not a secret society?
I don't consider. I think you can pretty much figure out anything they do.
Well, yeah, but you can figure out what any organization.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to get down to it, yeah.
So there are no secret societies.
Yeah, I would more or less say there's no secret societies than there are secret societies. Because if they're all known about, then what's there's to be secret?
What they do.
Nah, you could say that about any organization then.
I know, that's why they're secret societies.
No, I mean like literally any organization. If you
Well, no.
if you don't know what an organization do, that's a secret to you. So then, therefore, that would be a secret society.
Yeah, but you don't know what the Masons are. But you said they're not a secret society.
Yeah, but I'm not saying what so-called secret societies. I'm talking about any organization.
Joey, what's your opinion on it?
I'm not even sure where to weigh in here at this point. I am also a Freemason. And I will say for Freemasons, one of the things that I've been told is that we're actually more of a secretive society than a secret society. But we have our secrets, and I think that they're good secrets. And I mean, they're not particularly juicy or anything. It's not like, oh, Tony Blair is one of us, and he put his dick in a pig once. I don't think he did that in connection with the Freemasons, but he did do that. Look it up. At any rate, I don't know that I necessarily have any problem with the secret society as long as its goals are for the betterment of society as a whole. I mean, it has to be, for me, the thing that I like about the Freemasons is that it's sort of you get in what you put out, and the advantage to it is, one, networking for you, and then also plenty of lessons to help yourself become a better man. Now, I think there are other secret societies or secretive societies that do more sort of machinations behind the scenes, decide who's going to be the next president of the United States, stuff like that. And those, I think, might be a little bit more problematic because I'm against the oligarchy. So...
The what?
The limiting of political power to a small group of very wealthy individuals.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I don't know. It could go either way. As long as I suppose they're not being sinister, I could give, 2 wet farts. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Noah, for your question. I truly appreciate that. And we'll do another one next week.
Yeah, I hope you found that satisfactory and that you want to ask more.
Yes.
Yeah, Noah seems like those. Anyways, Noah's a guy. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the guy. He is a great guy. So I'm not saying in any way he's a bad guy. I wasn't gonna apply that anyway. It's just there's no real way to really describe Noah unless you just meet him yourself.
That Noah guy is definitely human.
Maybe.
Sorry, no, that was just me giving him a compliment by that.
Maybe. I don't know if you would compliment him. He's kind of Anyways. Yeah. So let's get to our main topic of the show, which I'm excited about doing. I'm hoping you guys are excited about doing, and I know our friends at the other podcast I talk about all the time is excited about doing, and I can't remember their names now. What's their names? What's that podcast? Now I can't. I know it, but I don't want to say the name wrong.
Whose podcast?
I want to say it's the Garbage Podcast, but I know there's more to it.
The Garbage Pail Kids.
That's definitely it.
That's wrong.
I'm looking it up real quick because I don't want to say their name wrong.
I zoned out for like 15 seconds to answer a text message, and when I came back in, we're talking about the Garbage Pail Kids.
That's
Hot
right.
Garbage Podcast.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
the Hot Garbage Podcast.
I knew there was a word that I was forgetting, and I knew I didn't want to say it without it. But our friends at the Hot Garbage Podcast is very eager to hear this show because, I mean, I talked to them a lot, about DC, about Marvel, and all this stuff. They gave me a lot of insight on it, and as much as they gave me the insight to probably use to benefit the show, I'm actually going to take their advice and, I guess, use the opposite of it, basically, pretty much. Basically how they described it is that pretty much DC would kill Marvel. I mean, absolutely, without a doubt, in any fight, if you base it off the comic books. If you look at the comic books based on how Superman is, how Wonder Woman is, how Aquaman is, they are mega powers that could probably kill anybody with a flick of the finger. So, instead of doing that, we're going to do it the freaking show way, and we're just going to opinionate the shit out of it. So we're just going to use how we feel and use our views on who we think would win in what battle and what fight to find an overall number one standing person or group. I am a huge Marvel fan. I do not like DC, but I will be, unbiased.
Unbiased, yeah.
Unbiased,
Is it
yeah.
unbiased? Unbiased. I will be unbiased. If DC ends up winning, I'm okay with that because we're going to do this as a group. It's not going to be my choice, Colin's choice, Joey's choice. It's going to be our choice.
Yeah.
So like we talked about before the show, we agreed that we're going to do a 6-on-6 Marvel Avengers versus DC Justice League. And looking at the rosters for Marvel, we have Captain America, Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, Black Widow, and Hawkeye. The originals are, for the Avengers. For DC, we have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, and Green Arrow. The best way, I think we mutually agreed to do this, is rank everyone based on how powerful, how strong they are, and then kind of just merge them together in battles at that point. Sound good?
Sure.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw out a name, and you guys give me a number between 1 and 10. 1 being human, no additional, strength, to them. You got to look past technique just for the moment. We're just looking purely at strength and vulnerability at this point. So 1 is being vulnerable, not that strong. 10 being invincible, super powerful.
Gotcha.
Superman.
10.
10.
Batman.
7.
I'd probably go
7?
4.
All right, I'll revise and meet you at 5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay. Being Batman as a human, being an actual mortal human, whatever you want to call it, why would you put him at a 5? I mean, I'm agreeing with you. I just want you to answer it just so we kind of keep going with the future non-immortals.
I think my reasoning is that he's a martial arts expert. He's constantly training, so he's going to be more powerful than your average sort of store clerk, which is what I think a 1 would be for me. And I think that he's in terms of just sheer strength. It's hard to say, but in terms of superpowers, I think he's about half of what Superman is just by his intellect alone. So, and that's not mental suit or anything. That's being able to strategize to best leverage his strength.
Okay. I can see that. All right, Wonder Woman.
3.
I'd probably go around Wonder Woman.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Black Widow. Wonder Woman's a 10.
I would go around 9, 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman's a 10?
Yep. Yeah. Well, if we're going off just the movies, the only one that I've seen that she's been in recently is the one in Batman versus Superman, and she held her own as well as Superman did, and maybe even a little bit better against the main baddie in that one. So,
okay, if you were to take a fully healthy, ready to go Superman versus a fully healthy, ready to go Wonder Woman, who would win?
I think it would be a tie. I think they would literally fight until time ended.
Okay. What about Aquaman?
He would be a 7.
I'd agree with the 7.
Okay. Flash.
I'd probably go 6 on that one.
That's probably fair. Yeah.
Is he immortal in any way, or can he die from a bullet?
He runs really fast.
He could die from a bullet if a bullet could hit him.
Okay. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, we're not looking at technique. We're looking at vulnerability and strength. Like, is he stronger than Batman? Is he more likely to live based on just his body type as Batman? Like, I don't want to look at Superman being able to fly, Batman using a utility
His
belt.
abilities.
Yeah, I want his body, his what he's made out of, and
The Flash would have some. He wouldn't necessarily have the same type of super strength that like Aquaman or Superman would have, but he would need to have some type of super strength to be able to withstand the G forces that he faces when he runs as fast as he runs. The other thing is because his cells move at an accelerated rate, he has advanced healing capabilities that Batman doesn't have. So he would be more likely to survive a bullet to the head than Batman would be.
Okay. That makes sense. So I know nothing about Flash, so as long as you're answering the question, I'm happy with it.
Yep.
Green Arrow.
Probably a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, I would put him at a 4.
Okay, Captain America.
Captain America probably an 8.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd put him at a 5 or a 6. So let's go 6 because that's in the between 5 and 8.
Okay, Hulk.
10.
10.
Maybe even an 11.
Thor.
10.
Yeah, a 9 or a 10 also.
Yeah, I'll go with 9.
Iron Man with his suit.
7. If it's his regular suit, right? Like the one the orange and yellow or red and yellow.
Any suit that he used in any movie other than the Hulkbuster suit.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say an 8.
I'd say
8?
7.
7's fine with me. That's close enough.
Joey, remember these are all your opinions.
I know, but I want to match him so that we don't have to fight over it so much and we can move on to the actual battles.
Black Widow.
Say that again?
Black Widow.
2.
I'd go 3.
So you thought she was a 3 when I said Wonder Woman, but now you're going with 2?
Yeah, I changed my mind. She can be a 3. I don't care. She's above the average store clerk and she's below Stephen Amell.
All right, Hawkeye, last one.
Also a 3.
Yeah, 3.
Okay, so 3. You said Captain was a 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so if we look at it then, so we're going to put the Hulk and Superman together. We're going to put Wonder Woman and Thor. Iron Man and Aquaman. You guys still there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, it sounded like somebody cut out. I'm like, no.
Just waiting for you.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so Iron Man, Thor. So Captain and Flash. And then, if you had to choose who's better, Black Widow or Hawkeye?
Black Widow. Well, better at what?
Yeah, I mean,
Overall, who has more more ability to be better in a fight?
Black Widow.
CQC, Black Widow.
What'd you
Sorry?
say?
CQC,
What the fuck is that?
close quarter combat.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I just mean like overall.
I think overall, she's got her weaponized sexuality. She's got she's a spy. She can speak in multiple languages. She took out that entire room of people by herself, and she can still fight when she runs out of arrows.
That works. Green Arrow. Versus okay. Okay, so we end up with Hulk versus Superman, Wonder Woman versus Thor, Aquaman versus Iron Man, Flash versus Captain America, Batman versus Black Widow, and Green Arrow versus Hawkeye.
Man.
So you said Hulk was a 10, Superman was a 10, Thor was a 10, Wonder Woman was a 10, Aquaman was a 7, Iron Man was a 7, Captain was a 6, Flash was a 6, Batman was a 5, with Black Widow being a 3, Green Arrow was a 4, with Hawkeye being a 3. Alright. So we're just going to start at the bottom, then work our way up.
Cool.
Because I'm a big fan of best for last kind of thing. Okay, so when you want to do this, do you want to do this just like we'll look at versus, kind of like a bracket thing, like keep moving up? Or is it like, you fight, you're done, who has the majority of the people left over, that team wins?
Let's do the second one. So I'm not
So
sure that
whoever
I'm...
has the,
Yeah, whoever has the most wins in the win column.
Alright, cool. So, first one we're looking at Green Arrow, and we're looking at Hawkeye. Which, to me, they're the same exact person.
Yeah.
Is there any...
I think there's actually a pretty significant difference. I think Hawkeye is a little less mentally strong than Green Arrow. Also, we're only going off of movie universe, right?
We're only going based on what we've seen as far as footage of them from recent.
Okay.
Within the last 15 years, let's say.
I'm just double checking because in the comic books, Hawkeye is deaf, and that's a definite disadvantage.
Yeah, I don't want to do anything comic book related because comic books is a whole other thing that changes the direction of this whole thing. I just want to focus on Green Arrow from the TV show, Hawkeye from the movies.
Gotcha. Cool.
Which, to me, if you were to put these two in a fight, is not going to come down to them using arrows on each other. I think it's going to come down to hand in hand. Because if you just have them shooting at each other, I just see an entire fight where arrows are just hitting each other tip to tip.
Yep.
So it's now you gotta look at who would win hand to hand, who would win in a fight itself.
And I honestly think that easily comes down to the Green Arrow.
Okay, I know nothing about the Green Arrow, so why would you think that?
Well, he's a battle-hardened warrior. He's a cold-blooded killer. In the TV show, he fights many villains hand to hand after basically having bow fights where their arrows are basically tip to tip, crashing into each other, getting shot out of the air. And he usually ends up winning almost every fight that he's in. Against a serious bad guy is hand-to-hand combat, or I found this rock and I'm gonna crush your skull with it.
Okay, I want to try something that just came to my mind. I want your opinion on it. If you guys don't like it, we won't do it. All right, how do you guys feel about giving each match 10 points? Okay, and you give each person a certain amount of points to where you feel they would win. Let's say if you think Green Arrow would win, you would give them 7 of the 10 points, leaving Hawkeye 3 points. Or something like that. Because
split the
Hawkeye
10.
Yeah, Hawkeye to me, I think would have some advantage because I think Hawkeye, if you look at the TV show, look at the movies, he's been doing it a little bit longer. He may have more experience, maybe, to where he could have an advantage in a certain situation. So you would give him some kind of points for that.
That's
And
fair.
like you kind of look at that in each one, and maybe we do like total points win.
That's cool with me. Yeah.
All right, cool. So
I think that makes it easier, especially when we get to the more difficult ones.
exactly. So when you look at this, base out of 10 points, Green Arrow to Hawkeye, how many points is Green Arrow taking for the win?
I would give him 6 to Hawkeye's 4.
How do you feel, Colin?
I would go probably Green Arrow with 7, Hawkeye 3.
So it's roughly around the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Hawkeye loses by much. I think he only loses out when it comes to the actual close combat.
All right, so how about Green Arrow 6.5 to Hawkeye 3.5?
Yeah, that's fine.
Right there in the middle.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Next one will be Batman and Black Widow. And if I was to look at this based on, and obviously I didn't see the new Batman vs Superman, but I don't want to look at that Batman in any way possible because of the stupid fucking suit they put him in.
Fucking gay ass shit.
So I want to.
He was only in it when he was fighting Superman.
It doesn't matter. It's still gay.
Well, in the sense of what I have seen and what I know, I want to look at Christian Bale's Batman. Or, George Clooney's Batman, Val Kilmer's, it doesn't matter. Anything from... No, that's way too late. Let's focus on Christian Bale's Batman. That suit, just Christian Bale's Batman.
Sure.
If I had to choose it, I would pick... I have no idea why I put Black Eye. Black Widow.
Wow.
I know. Weird. Not Black Eye. Anyways.
It's a little bit domestically abusive there, man.
I think Black Widow probably deserves it.
Yikes.
She's kind of a trashy bitch. Anyways.
Whoa.
That's a whole other conversation.
That's some words there.
Okay. If I've offended Black Widow, please come and tell me.
You've offended Black Widow.
I hope Black Widow comes and kicks your ass.
I hope I would let her.
I would too.
I would let her beat the shit
I'm not
out
sure
of me.
you would have a choice, but I totally am with you.
Nah, Black Widow's cool. I've actually
It's like
kind of
Ronda
bothered
Rousey.
me. Oh my god.
Oh, I'd let her kick the shit out
Right?
of me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Anyway.
I'd let her bully me and take my lunch money, and I'm not even in school anymore. I think I mean between the first two fights, which all 4 of these people in this first fight are human. This one I think is fairly closer, and I would actually give the edge to Black Widow over Batman. I mean, to me, they're the same exact person. It's just different gender. They both have the same fighting skills. They're both able to defend themselves as well as be offensive. Maybe to Batman's credit, he does have the suit, which I think gives him more protection.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if push comes to shove, I would actually give the edge more to Black Widow, just because I think she has more technique and more. Overall, if you look based on what the movies tell you about her, she grew up to be an assassin, to be a killer.
Yep.
Batman didn't. I think he was more of a defender. I don't think he wanted to kill people. I think he did if he had to.
Yeah.
But I think Black Widow would if she, just because that's what she was growing up to do. She was raised to do, especially at a young age. So
Yeah.
in my opinion, I would do it 6-4, leaning towards Black Widow. I think it's close, but I wouldn't give it 5-5. I would put it 6-4. Again, this is all of us. It's not just me. I'm just telling my opinion.
No, I know.
Yeah, so I'm saying 6-4 towards Black Widow.
In my opinion, I think Batman would have the advantage. But because he's trained like she is. I think he has more of the. I don't know. But Black Widow have the martial arts training? What kind of training does she have?
I believe it was martial arts. Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think of what kind of martial arts. Um, that
I'm not
um,
100% positive. My instinct is jujitsu.
jujitsu. Okay.
Yeah. Well, because she fights in a way that seems to use her opponent's strength against them.
Okay. Okay.
So.
Yeah. Um, I definitely think. I mean, Batman does have the darkness to his advantage. I mean, he has the Dark Knight and uses that for reasons. uh, I mean, and if it came down to a hand-to-hand combat, I think he would be able to overpower her. She would still have the nimbleness, though, so it would be a good fight, I think. So,
So you think it'd be just as close, just about, but on the other side instead of.
yeah,
So if you went point wise, you say 6'4" to Batman.
yeah.
All right, Joe, what are you thinking?
I think Black Widow wins by a smidge. Also, I agree with both of the arguments that you guys have made, but I think the one thing that you guys are missing is that Batman's one weakness is women. In the first two in the Dark Knight trilogy, he's head over heels for Rachel Dawson. I don't care. It doesn't matter. She dies, and it basically cripples him. And then in the third one, he falls for the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, whose name I can't remember for the life of me.
Talia?
Yeah, Talia. And she's the one who's able to like get close enough to actually stab him. But she, I think, is much more inept at the long game of date somebody and then kill them in their sleep than Black Widow is. And so I think that's why she wins for me in the long run, is because she perfectly encapsulates not just the assassin, not just the martial arts expert, not just, X, Y, and Z, but the fact that she is perfectly trained to assume a new identity and use her opponent's weaknesses to her advantage, more than anyone Batman's ever faced.
I would definitely have to. I didn't think about that. I'm still not going to change my answer, but I definitely think that has to go in hand.
So I only think it's a slight edge. I almost think it's like 5.5 to 4.5. Like it's really close.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
All right, so you want to do 5.5, 4.5, or 6'4"?
my vote is 5.5, 4.5.
We could go 5.5, 4.5.
To Black Widow?
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh well, because it was 2-1. That's the only reason.
Yeah. All right, cool. Captain America Flash.
Ooh.
That's harder.
Yeah, it's definitely harder.
I'm trying to remember at any point with Captain America's battle against Quicksilver. But
I forgot about that.
Like I'm trying to use that.
Well, I know Quicksilver like knocked him down.
Yeah,
No problem.
and that's what I'm trying to figure out, because the only time I ever saw the Avengers on the offensive against him is when Thor threw his hammer. He went to go grab it and just went along with the hammer.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out now. Obviously, like with Captain America, like when he went through his whole like scientific experiment thing, it made him stronger, it made him bigger, it made him smarter. So is there a way for him to think of an offense that would work against Flash?
I think it's possible.
Could he figure out a way to stop the fastest man in this fight?
I think so. For me, I think Captain America's biggest advantage is his vibranium shield, which has the ability to steal the kinetic energy out of anything that hits it. That's why bullets bounce off of it. That's why if he smacks you with it, the fight is basically over. So I think there's a lot of ability. If Captain America can get his shield in front of Flash's punches or in front of Flash running at him, then I think he completely steals the Flash's momentum long enough to gain an advantage. Now, if he can't manage to do that, I think the Flash wins because he's the fastest man alive, and it's really difficult to beat that kind of speed.
So at this point, it's kind of like luck.
I think it's a little more skill than luck, but there is a lot of luck.
All right. Now, we've seen what Captain America do with the shield. I mean, he's able to make, weird things happen with it based on hitting things, protecting things. In your opinion, if for some reason the Flash ran headfirst into the shield, what would happen?
He would probably stop.
Would he be knocked out? Would he die? Would he just be hurt? If he ran headfirst into the shield. If the Flash was coming directly at Captain America put the shield right in front of him at the right time, and he ran headfirst into it, would he be knocked out?
I think Flash would suffer some significant damage, yes. Because I'm imagining in this scenario, Flash is probably going for his supersonic punch, which is what he usually uses against unstoppable forces, which means that he's moving at Mach 2-ish, and which is twice the speed of sound, and trying to focus all of that kinetic energy into his punch. Now, if he did that and hit that vibranium shield, I think Cap is knocked back a little bit, but I think Flash's wrist shatters.
Yeah.
You think Captain's wrist was shattered or Flash's wrist?
No, Flash's wrist shatters. Cap gets knocked back maybe 2 feet.
Based on what you just said, then I think, in my opinion, I would give it to Cap 7-3.
7-3.
I'm gonna say 7-3. Like, even though the Flash is faster, and if Flash has the ability to outthink, overpower Captain, then he could win. But I think for what Captain was made, or how he was made, and the experience that he has overall, I think that he would win over Flash. I don't think it would be as close as the previous two fights. I think it would be a 7-3 on Captain's side.
I could definitely see that. I would agree. I think the Captain would win. And it has to go down to his shield. I mean, and I haven't really seen a lot of the Flash, so I can't really say anything against him. I know he's got the speed and that, but
yeah. Here, so in the show, the three basic powers Flash has gotten at this point are: 1, he can move faster than the speed of sound. 2, he can time travel, which is very rare and wouldn't affect the outcome of the fight. And 3, he can actually harness the energy of the Speed Force to shoot lightning. Now, we've already seen that Cap can survive a lightning strike because he's fought Thor before. And we know that in one of the episodes of The Flash, his momentum is stolen and it causes him to lose a fight. And this happens a couple of different times. So I think a 7-3 win on Cap's side, at least for like the very first fight, is perfectly fair. So, yeah, I agree.
I think a good thing that the Flash would be able to do. I mean, he can run really fast. He could probably make Captain America pretty dizzy.
I agree. If it were like best 2 out of 3, I think the Flash wins the other 2. But if it's just a one-fight showdown, I think Cap wins the very first fight.
Okay.
All right, so I'm at 7-3. Joe, you're at 7-3. Colin, where are you at?
I'll go 6-4.
6-4 for Flash
6
or
for
6?
Capped.
All right, so 6.5, 3.5.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so Aquaman, Iron Man. Now this one I don't have a lot of opinion on because I don't know anything about Aquaman other than what was explained to me through you guys, through the Hot Garbage podcast. When I talked to the Hot Garbage podcast, they told me that he was like the third strongest DC character from Wonder Woman and Superman. Based on movie-wise, I have no idea because I don't think there's been a Aquaman movie. So the only thing I have to go off of is the cartoon Justice League show.
God, he's so derpy
Uh,
in that.
so when you look at Aquaman based on what you know of him, how can he compete with the suits that Tony Stark created?
Yeah. For me, so he does have super strength. And so I think you might be able to make him comparable to Thor in terms of having super strength and having an undefinable source of power in the trident that was shown in Batman versus Superman, and he can talk to fish, which I don't think is going to be important to the fight. So I think we've seen Iron Man at least match Thor, if not come close to beating Thor in the movies. And so I'm going to give it to Iron Man 6-4.
Okay. Uh, based on strength, again, I know nothing about Iron Man, but to kind of look at what I do know based on the suits that Iron Man used, I mean, he did. He stood up to a fight with Thor and the Hammer. When you looked at the previews for Civil War, he took out both Captain America and Winter Soldier, beating them down. Those are also two guys with great strength. So I think if
Yep.
you were to compare what Thor could do, what Captain and Winter Soldier could do together against one man, I think I would have to go to Iron Man 6-4 as well.
I would. I mean, we haven't really seen much on the way of Aquaman. Um, but like you said, he is way up there with um, in the DC as with strength.
Mhm.
I would. I'd probably have to go 5-5 on this one.
That's fair.
Right. Now, is Aquaman like indestructible like Superman like Wonder Woman? Or can he get hurt from a shot from the suit?
I don't know, but I think we can assume that he is invulnerable, like Superman and Wonder Woman, based on the animated Justice League show, and I don't know, just the way that he's been portrayed in the movie posters makes me think that he's sort of like the same type of character as the other two.
Yeah. Um, I have no problem going 5-5 with this, just based on the fact that I think as long as Iron Man can keep his distance from Aquaman, he can make a good fight out of it. But if there's some way Aquaman can get his hands on him and rip some part of that suit off of him, like, could we agree he may have the strength to do something like that?
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's
Aquaman
probably
could have the
fair.
strength to rip, like if Aquaman was able to grab hold of Iron Man, could he rip the helmet or the face mask off that suit and cause harm to the human within the machine?
Yeah, I think he could probably do that.
All right,
I
so
think there
I
would be
mean,
the way.
I'm fine with going 5-5 on this one too.
You could probably just have a whale eat Iron Man.
Oh, well.
Yeah, that's entirely. I mean, although we did see Iron Man survive being swallowed by that space whale, so
Uh, that was
that
me
was
a
just a
child's
joke.
play.
Okay, I don't really care. It's fine with me if it's a tie.
Uh, alright, so Wonder Woman and Thor.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman and Thor. Ooh. Uh, this would actually probably be a really close battle.
All right.
Right.
Well, if you were to break it down, Wonder Woman's invincible.
Right.
Is Thor invincible? Can Thor get
No.
hurt?
Yes.
So Thor could die.
Yes. Theoretically.
Okay. Is there something Thor could do that could cause harm to Wonder Woman to the point where she could get knocked out, or she could be incapacitated in a fight? If he threw his hammer at her and makes direct contact with her, how bad would she get hurt?
I think it's possible she could be knocked unconscious.
Do you believe that Wonder Woman or even Superman himself, do you think they could pick up the hammer?
Oh man, maybe.
I don't think they would be
I
able.
think Superman could.
Do you think he could because of his strength or because he's a god?
Because he's worthy.
So Superman, you believe, could be worthy, but Wonder Woman couldn't?
I'm not sure about Wonder. I don't know enough about Wonder Woman to decide whether or not she's worthy of holding the hammer.
I'm just trying to make you sound.
Yeah.
Just,
No, I know.
um,
I know that's fair. It's
no,
sort
okay.
of it's that scene in Avengers: Age of Ultron where Cap almost lifts the hammer.
Yeah.
Or I think almost Superman and the Vision could be basically the same character. And since the Vision can hold the hammer, I feel like Superman probably could as well.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I may have missed your answer. Superman could hold the hammer because he's worthy, because he's strong, or because of both?
I said because he's worthy.
Yeah,
Because he's worthy.
because he's
Okay.
worthy.
This is actually a good opportunity to use our hashtag on Twitter. For all of you listening to this, if you believe Superman could pick up Thor's hammer, tell us yes or no. Use the hashtag Freakin saying. Tell us your opinion and why. I think he could because he would be worthy. But at the same time, I think Wonder Woman also could, and that's the thing too, because and I don't know a lot about DC, but in my mind, it seems like DC tried to make all of their characters gods or godlike in some way.
Yeah, their heroes are very boring. And I'm saying that as almost a fan, but it's because their villains are so interesting and exciting and human. So,
Okay. So, if we were to look at this as a whole, Wonder Woman versus Thor, based on what they are in the films, who's winning it and by how much? Because even though I feel it could be close, I think the edge goes to Wonder Woman.
I think you're right. And if nothing else, she has her lasso of truth, which can be used to mind control Thor. So,
And it has been shown that his mind can be manipulated.
yeah, he's pretty weak-minded. He's actually, I know we're not using the comic books, but if we're using the comic books at all, he's probably one of the least intelligent characters in the entire Marvel universe.
Thor?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't see him as being that smart.
No, he's a big dumb tank. So, which is fine. I mean, he doesn't need to be anything else.
Yeah. All right. So, are we all mutually agreeing that Wonder Woman's winning?
Yes.
By
Yeah,
how much?
I'll give her 6-4.
I'll give her 6.
I'll start the bidding.
All right. I'm happy with 6-4. All right. So we're on the last one now here. Hulk and Superman.
Hulk versus Superman.
This is one of those I think could be a never-ending battle, regardless of him being knocked out by the Hulkbuster suit. I think it could be a never-ending battle.
I agree.
I think I will have to say this battle will be really close and probably 4.5 Hulk, 5.5 Superman.
I think I probably agree with you. There's only I think maybe 2 possibilities for Superman winning or losing. One is if Bruce Banner were to go into the fight knowing that the Hulk would need some kind of kryptonite weapon to kill Superman. Then maybe the Hulk would have an advantage. Or 2, if they fought long enough that Superman's solar power reserves were to fail because it went too late into the night with too much energy, then the Hulk could beat him that way.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
But other than that, Superman's only weakness seems to be things he hasn't tried to do yet. So, like, if this were like a best out of 10, Superman wins 9 out of 10 times. Possibly even 99 out of 100. So I think I agree with you, 5.5 to 4.5. Maybe even 6-4. Superman.
Yeah, I definitely see them being really close. Um, in my opinion, I think the thing that I see Superman winning is because of his sheer speed.
Ooh, I forgot about faster than a speeding bullet.
And
Yeah.
Hulk is fast, but I think no matter what, Superman's gonna have the speed over him, and I think they're gonna both be super strong against each other, but
Right.
that speed is what's gonna give the kicker to one side.
That's a fair point too. Yeah, it's really hard to say because it's a very tough fight, I think. So, and I think there's a movie out there somewhere that actually answers this question, but I haven't seen it yet. So, and knowing those particular comic book houses, it's probably one of those things where it's like, oh, they fought until the bad guy showed up, and then they fought the bad guy, and then they were all friends in the end. Arm not long enough for jerk off motion in my soul.
So, if you look at Superman's strength and speed against Hulk's strength, could you take into account that as more like as he gets more angry, he gets more powerful? Could he never exceed the strength that Superman has?
I'm honestly not sure, but that's a really good question.
I mean that's something that happens, right? I mean, like the more he gets angry, the more powerful he gets.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think his strength limit is undefined. So, and I think it's infinite as far as we know. Whereas Superman does have a maximum strength limit.
Yeah.
It's like it was one of the things, and the biggest thing like I'm focused on is something that you said is the longer it goes, who's gonna get tired quicker. Now, from my understanding, like when it comes to the Hulk, I don't know. I think somebody, and one of you two might have said this, or maybe I saw it in one of the movies. Like the Hulk can never starve.
Right.
If
Yeah,
he
we were talking about that.
so it's like I mean, like it does get to the point now, like who outlasts who? I mean, does the Hulk get knocked out by Superman before Superman starts getting like weakened?
You know.
I
Yeah.
mean, or how angry does the Hulk get while he's fighting this guy? I mean, like if anything, like let's say you're in high school, okay? If you're a bully and you're picking on somebody who's smaller than you, you're beating the shit out of them and you have no stress, no worry about whatsoever. But if somebody your equal strength comes up to you, you're getting more frustrated, more angry. That you're not putting them down like you normally would.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm kind of looking at this now. Is like I think like even though he gets angry in all his fights, especially the one in the big city, um, I think this is like beyond that because now here's an actual like fight, an actual, somebody he has to compete with, and he's frustrated because he's not the same power that he normally is, or he's not on top of this fight as he normally is.
Right.
I think and that's where it came out with the Hulk Buster. I mean, like if it's a normal Iron Man Tony Stark suit, he's destroying this shit. But now they came out with that Hulkbuster suit. Now, granted, the Hulkbuster suit was taking advantage of him until Tony Stark punched him in the face, said sorry, and the Hulk just freaked out.
Right.
And that's what I'm seeing this fight as. Like, I mean, like I get what you guys are saying, but if I had to look at it, I would put it more towards the Hulk, but just by half, like
That's
five
a
and a
good
half,
point too.
like 5.5, 4.5 on the Hulk side.
Yeah. It's a really hard. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know because I was just looking up some things to see what the peanut gallery of the internet says, and they make a really good point. Superman would do everything he could to not kill the Hulk.
Yeah.
Whereas the Hulk wouldn't give a crap. He would definitely kill Superman if he had the
Wouldn't give
opportunity.
a flying fuck.
Yeah. Superman's faster and smarter and has like laser beams and stuff that he can shoot from his eyes. But the Hulk has no limit to his strength and is effectively immortal as long as as long as he's angry.
Okay, I have a question for you. Would the Hulk be able to survive in space?
Um,
Because there
yes,
you think so?
I do think so.
Because that would be taking away oxygen.
Right. I don't know. I've never seen a movie where Hulk was just in
In
the
space.
void of space. Yeah, he's usually up there for just a second, and then he falls back to Earth, pounding whatever it is that he's got in his hands
Yeah.
until he hits the ground like a meteor
Yeah.
in Sarkovia. So I don't know. I'm almost
I don't,
5-5
I
on
don't,
this one, actually.
yeah. In my opinion, I'm at 5.5 over Hulk. And if Colin's
Yeah,
5.5 over Superman, and you're at 5-5, I'm fine with just going 5-5.
yeah. It's so hard to answer this question.
You could sit here and you could put these two here, but then as soon as you start talking variables, any variable could one up Superman, any variable could one up Hulk, and you keep doing
I
it. You know,
agree.
it's just one of the things. Yeah, each guy could fall into the fucking ocean, and whoever can hold his breath longer wins.
Right.
It's you. So I don't know. I'm at 5.5 for the Hulk. Where do you guys want to go with it?
5 and
I'm
5's fine with me.
5-5.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So now if we total it all up, we have 0, 5, 8, 9,
Oh, good way
15,
to do that.
20,
Nice.
20, 25, 27, 28. 29.5 for Marvel. And 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 19, 25, 30.5 for DC. So DC won by 1 point.
Dang.
So if we did give Hulk 5.5, they would have tied at 30. So yeah, so it ends up with DC winning by 1 point, and it honestly I think it came down to the Wonder Woman Thor. If we went 5-5 and that, it would have tied. Actually, I guess any one of them it could have altered in any way. I mean, obviously Green Arrow definitely won by 3 points higher. Black would have won by 1 point higher. Captain won by 3 points higher, and then tied 1 point. Yeah, so
Yeah, I think it's basically a tie either way. It's
yeah,
such a tough call really with these.
yeah,
So
yeah, and then
especially if you're just going off the movies, which
yeah,
is much better, I think.
oh yeah, and at the same time, like when you see the Aquaman movie happen, or the Justice League movie, or the Wonder Woman movie, maybe it changes. Maybe it changes how they really are. But at the same time, if you look at this stuff, I mean, there were other Marvel, that you could throw into. You could throw Vision in there instead of Hawkeye. How is Vision gonna do against Green Arrow?
Right.
Scarlet Witch versus Batman, and also make those could alter numbers anyway. But I think the way we did it, I think we chose the best comparisons, and I'm actually happy with the way this came out. I was hoping, I wish Marvel would have won, but it actually ended up a lot closer than I thought. I thought it was gonna end up being like DC, like blowing them out.
Yeah, I agree. It was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
But yeah, everyone who's listening, if you guys, if you feel that we made right choices, let us know. If you feel like we were completely wrong, you want to tell us, say something. Let us know. Let us know. Let us know your opinions on how we did. Um, maybe I'll post this up somewhere. Maybe on on Facebook or something like that. I think it's too many characters for Twitter. But I don't know. There it is. DC and Marvel, which is perfect since DC's new Batman vs Superman came out a couple weeks ago, and the better movie Captain America: Civil War is coming out in a couple weeks.
I can't wait for that one.
I'm so excited. I'm excited to know that it's gonna do so much better than the bullshit movie that came out 2 weeks ago.
I agree.
So I'm really excited about that. Um, shit. You guys got anything else?
I don't think so.
No. Perfect. Joey.
Yes.
Every week, our listeners could catch Geekcast Joe here on this freaking show. But if they feel they wanted to get a little more Geekcast Joe, where can they go?
If you wanted a little more Geekcast Joe, you could go over to the Geekcast Live podcast at geekcastlivepodcast.com/podcast, which you can also get to by going to our new URL, gcl.ninja. You can also find us on iTunes, Twitter, and Facebook by searching Geekcast Live.
That was so beautiful.
Thank you. I really tried to bring it this week.
I saw that. I was like, you're ready, and that's what I love. Real quickly, I want to thank our friends over at the Hot Garbage Podcast. You guys gave me a lot of information that kind of helped me get through this battle. It's probably not the information you want me to use in the way that it was used, but at the same time, we didn't go towards the comic books and everything, and it is what it is. I know I'm gonna get a response back from them on this because I know they were excited to hear it. So I'm excited to hear from them. And like I said before, they will be on our show. It's just a matter of when availability allows it. If you like this show, we have plenty of other shows. We actually have like 24 other episodes that you can listen to on iTunes and, also on Podbean, which you get to Podbean through our website, that's freakinshow.com. And while you're there, you kind of check the event calendar, see where we're going to be. You could check out the gallery of where we have been. You could send us emails and stuff through the website itself, or you can just email us at thisfreakinshow.com. You can find us on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, just by searching This Freakin' Show. While you're at iTunes listening to all our amazing shows, leave a 5-star review. Tell us why you love us. I mean, I know there's so many reasons. You can only have to pick one. It's okay. As always, I am Travesty.
I'm Awkward Count.
And I'm Geekcast Joe.
Thank you for listening to This Freakin' Show. I'm out.